साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवम् श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् सगन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द।
Hare Krishna, Premavasya Prabhuji, Dandat Pranams.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. We welcome all of you for the today's morning program, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Premavasya Prabhu, and Prabhu will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 12th chapter, and the text 8. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So, can I share my screen, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
You can see my screen, no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Nashtripayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Nestiki Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Varjana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Ladita Sri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namashute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Tantu Tattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Saktikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Govinda Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, welcome you all. Today we are going to discuss from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 12th chapter, verse number 8. Yada chitavev charasya vidam prabhavam cha nityam tannamato anyad vyavaharamulam nirupayatam satkriyanumeyam. Translation, purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yada means therefore. Chito. Chito means in the earth. Eva, certainly. Chara charasya, of different bodies. Chara charasya, some moving and some not moving. Vidama, we know. Nishtham, annihilation. Pravam, appearance. Cha, and nityam, regularly by the principles of nature. Tat, that. Namataha, then simply by name. Anyat, other. Vyavahara moolam, cause of material activities. Nirupayatam, let it be ascertained. Satkriyaya, by actual employment. Anumeyam, to be inferred. Translation: all of us on the surface of the globe are living entities in different forms. Some of us are moving and some not moving. All of us come into existence, remain for some time, and are annihilated when the body is again mingled with the earth. We are all simply different transformations of the earth. Different bodies and capacities are simply transformations of the earth that exist in name only, for everything grows out of the earth, and when everything is annihilated, it again mingles with the earth. In other words, we are but dust, and we shall but be dust. Everyone can consider this point. And purport by Srila Prabhupada. In Brahma Sutra, it is said, Tat anyatam arambhanam sad sabdadhivayah. This cosmic manifestation is a mixture of matter and spirit, but the cause is the Supreme Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Idam hi Vishwasya Bhagavan Evateraha. The entire cosmic manifestation is but a transformation of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But because of illusion, no one can appreciate that God is non-different from the material world. Actually, he is not different, but this material world is simply a transformation of its different energies. Parasaya Sakti Vividhaiva Shruyate. There are also other versions of this in the Vedas. It says, Sarvam Khalo Idam Brahma, matter and spirit are all non-different from Supreme Brahman, Bhagavan. Lord Sri Krishna confirms this statement in Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, verse number 4. Me bhinna prakriti ashtadha. The matter energy is Krishna's energy, but it is separated from him. The spiritual energy also is energy, but it is separated from him. When the material energy engaged in the service of Supreme Spirit, so-called material energy, is also transformed into spiritual energy. But just as an iron rod becomes fire when placed in contact with fire. When we can understand by an analytical study that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the cause of all causes, our knowledge is perfect. Simply understanding the transformation of different energies is partial knowledge. We must come to the ultimate cause. Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu. The knowledge of those who are not interested in knowing the original cause of all emanations is never perfect knowledge. There is nothing in the phenomenal world that is not produced by the supreme energy of the supreme personality of Godhead. Aromas from the earth are different scents manufactured and used for different purposes. But the original cause is the earth, nothing else. A water pot made of earth can be used to carry water for the same time, but ultimately the pot is nothing but earth. Therefore, there is no difference between the pot and its original ingredient, earth. It is simply a different transformations of the energy. Originally, the cause or primary ingredient is the supreme personality of Godhead, and the varieties are only byproducts. In the Chandogya Upanishad, it is stated, Yatha Somi Ekena Mritapindena Sarvam Mrinmayam Vigyantam Sayat Vacharambanam Vikara Namadheyam Mritiketi Eva Satyam. If one studies the earth, he naturally understands the byproducts of the earth. In the Vedas, therefore enjoins Yasmin Vignate Sarvam Evam Vignatam Bhavate. It is from Mukunda Upanishad 1.3. If one simply understands the original cause, Krishna, the cause of all causes, then naturally everything else is understood, although it may be presented in different varieties. By understanding the original cause of different varieties, one can understand everything. If we understand Krishna, the original cause of everything, we do not need to separately study the subsidiary varieties. Therefore, from the very beginning, it is said, Satyam Param Dhimahi. One has to concentrate one's understanding on the supreme truth, Krishna or Vasudeva. The word Vasudeva indicates the supreme personality of Godhead, who is the cause of all causes. Matasthani sarvabhutani na chaham tesu avastitaha. This is the summary of phenomenal and nominal philosophy. The phenomenal world depends on the nominal existence. Similarly, everything exists by virtue of the potency of the Supreme Lord. Although, due to our ignorance, the Supreme Lord is not perceived in everything. I will stop saying now. So, the topic that we are discussing here is a discussion between Jada Bharat and King Rahugana. And what they say that initially, as you know their story, that king employed Jada Bharat to carry his, I mean, palank, or you say in palaki. So he was going there, and then the discussion, and so after once King Rahugana come to know that the person to whom he was thinking as a common man or madman, he's very exalted devotee. He came down and paid his obeisances and requested that please guide me. Whatever you said, it was not clear to me. So therefore, it is said that in in general, whenever we meet someone, we may not understand them if they are great personalities or not. But the moment we come to know that they are not an ordinary person and they are very knowledgeable, they know everything, uh, we must pay our obeisances and ask them proper questions, and our behavior should be proper. So when the king Rahugana, he came to know that this person is very exalted, he paid his obeisances, and during the course of their interactions, before he could understand that Jarbharat was not an ordinary person, Jarbharat told him something. But now King Rahugana is saying that whatever you said, kindly please elaborate on all the topics because I could not understand. So this is the quality that is required. Whenever great persons like Prabhupada or great devotees they write something, they say something, it has a lot of meanings. Just like we see that there is a verse written and then Prabhupada writes a big purport. Sometimes to us it appears that it is nothing, but when you listen to purport, we get to know that there are a lot to be known, but I was not knowing. Therefore, it's always recommended that whenever we read Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, or any other books where we have purport from Srila Prabhupada, we should read. We should not think that I have read the purport too many times and I know the purport, so I should not read. The purport of Srila Prabhupada, it carries energy, and this energy is like uh, is always ever present. And whenever we read the purpose or we listen to Srila Prabhupada lectures, we come in contact with energies. And it is same attitude that King Rahugana has, saying that uh, we do not understand the sloka itself, but we require more explanations by devotees, and we should read purport. The more we read purport, the more we'll understand because it carries a lot of messages. So, in this regard, it is said that whatever is there, whatever that we have is nothing but made from the earth. And Popa writes in the purport that it is a transformation of Lord's energy. So now let us discuss on this topic with some examples. So we have seen that lots of items can be prepared from the earth. For example, a small cup, a bigger cup, or some decorative items also prepared. Some items are larger in size. Some items are very useful. Some has less utility. And depending on that, the price increases. For example, if you buy a small cup, and then its price is say 10 rupees. But if you want to buy the entire pot to keep water, then the price will increase. And if the capacity to hold water increases, if it is more, then price increases. If there are some certain designs are made, then again the price increases. So the question is, why the price is increasing? Because the volumes and utilities are increasing. Similarly, what we think that a person who has more knowledge is uh, is highly valuable. A person who has less knowledge is less valuable. A person who has more bodily strength is more valuable. One who has less bodily strength is less valuable. But now think about a person who is does business in diamonds, and then he's passing by. For that person who deals in diamond, for him, all the varieties of earthen pots, it may have some utility and or different utilities, but for him, everything is made by earth and it has a limited price value. And and he has this diamonds, and diamonds have the higher values. Okay. Similarly, it all depends on the person's understanding and the person's knowledge about it. So, Jar Bharat is saying that those who are spiritualists, those who know this about the soul, they they do not they do not give much value to the bodily existence, and they do not discriminate people based on their structures, their bodily structures. Of course, they do their duties, just like Rahugana, he performs his duties, and their servant, they perform the duties. But for them, because Jar Bharat was very much uh, he was not satisfied by the behavior of King Rahugana because he was scolding and he was using bad words. And it appears so is Jar Bharat told Rahugana that you think yourself to the king and you are punishing this. whereas the duty of the king is to safeguard or give protection to his subjects. So here the understanding is like one who knows about the soul, one who is a spiritualist. They do not uh, give much importance to the bodily appearances, and they do not discriminate between the different bodies. For example, even if you take a gold bar of, say, any weight is, or say 1 kg gold bar, very big one, it is very costly. The cost is 70 to 80 lakhs, something like that. And then you paint it with the black color, still the value will remain the same. Similarly, uh, just like uh, the soul is to be given importance and not the bodily appearance. What Prabhupada writes in the purport is like, Prabhupada says that everything is transformation of the Lord's energy. And when we think about this in scientific terms, okay, so from scientifically, what we know is like a deductive form of understanding. So we think that uh, there has to be some beginning to everything. So most people, they believe that everything is there, is started from a small lump, and they say that it started with a big bang. So there is a big bang theory, and there are controversies, but we are not going to discuss the controversies, but we're just trying to understand the statement from Srila Prabhupada with adding some scientific perspective, that how everything is transformation of Lord's energy. Okay, so Big Bang, it says Big Bang, and then Big Bang has started from which place? What was the state of uh, from where the Big Bang started? So scientifically, we do not have any understanding about the what was the state from where the Big Bang started, but rather we have scientifically, we have some information about what happened after few seconds of the Big Bang. So we do not have understanding about the Big Bang, but after certain time we have some information. Now, now we have this theory called quantum field theory. So quantum field theory, what it says, that even in between my hand, we say that there is a air, okay? But say, for example, we remove all the air between my hands. It is a square box and there's nothing within my hand. There is no air, there's no electron, no proton, and nothing is there. It is absolute vacuum. So scientists, they have studied what happens within the vacuum. So it is an entire vacuum, and then they studied that within the vacuum there is a kind of field is present, and they said this is a quantum field theory. So the idea is that before the Big Bang, everything was, all the energies were in the form of the fields, but there's no particles. No particle meaning no electrons, no protons, no neutrons, no bosons, nothing was there. It was just the fields were present. If you want to understand the meaning of field, then you can uh, think about the magnets. So if you keep the magnets and if you bring that north pole together, then after some time they start repelling, and you start to feel, it appears that there's something is there which is not allowing us to uh, close the north pole or south pole. So there is a field is acting. So that field is not visible, but that field is present. That field is present, and when this field is excited with some energies, and then it expands, it takes different forms, and then we have electrons, and then we have protons, and then chemically, or according to the particle theory in the physics, anything that we see can be deduced from basic particles. Just like, for example, if you have read some basic chemistry, and then you look at the periodic tables, then in the periodic table, what we study, that there is a hydrogen and there is a helium. And the difference between hydrogen, helium, and the iron, and the gold, and the platinum is the number of electrons, and number of protons, and number of neutrons. Very, very basic understanding of class 9 chemistry. So, I mean, gold is different from the iron because the number of electrons, protons, and neutrons are different in the gold and then in iron. And then we also know about the radioactivity. Radioactivity in which these electrons and protons, they radiate in the forms of gamma rays and alpha rays and beta rays. And these are also the transformation of energies. And then the mass and the number changes. So uranium gets converted into different substance after the decay. So we know that mass changes by beta decays and alpha decays. So electrons and the neutrons, everything, protons, the number that changes and the element becomes different. So it's like if we have understanding, so I can take this cloth, and then if I know how to put the exact number of electrons and protons, then I can convert this cloth into golden cloth. It becomes a gold cloth. So it's like saying that everything is electrons and protons. Then there's a string theory which says that everything is made up of strings. So there are different theories are there. So scientifically also, what it says that everything is made up of some small basic particles. It is just the arrangement. Arrangement is different. So for example, if you make some drawings of some person, so we use this crayon colors, and then we make a picture of elephant, and then we make picture of some grass or giraffe or some flowers. So everything is made using this basic colors, so if I say that so what they charge the money for? They charge money for their intelligence that is being used. But what is the basic material? So that is what it is being said, that we are all made of some basic materials. And when we talk about this earth, water, fire, air, ether. So bhumi, apo, analo, vayu, kham, mano, buddhi, evacha, ahankara, ityame, bhinna, prakriti, ashtadha, अपरायम इतस्तु अन्यम प्रकृति विद्धि में पराम जीव भूत महाभाव idam dharate jagat. So so generally what we think that this water, air, ether, and everything is like the water that we see water, and the air that we can feel the air. So people, they generally argue which air is it, oxygen, it is hydrogen, it is nitrogen. That is the way they argue which oxygen, or is it combination we are talking about. So basically, what we need to understand is like these are the different kinds of energies. Just like we have the field energy of electrons, we have the field energy of the protons. Similarly, from the very beginning of the creations, in the beginning of creation, there was no water molecule because, as you know, water molecule is constitute of H2O, that means two hydrogen molecule and then one oxygen molecule. Uh, and then this hydrogen is made up of electrons and protons. So before hydrogen and oxygens were there, it was electrons and protons were there. So, and before the earth was created, there was no water molecules. So it was all hydrogen and the helium gas were there. And from there, everything get transformed. So when you study or read something about the Big Bang theory, and even if you study from the Srimad Bhagavatam, how this Mahat Tattva, when the Mahat Tattva get agitated, it the tamas ahankar and the sattvic ahankar and the rajas ahankar, they get transformed and they interact with each other, and they start forming different elements. They form uh, different elements in the form of water elements, earth element, air element, and they start to combine together, and then they start to form the senses and sense perception, the eyes and the skin, then the ear, the nose, and the tongue. So that is what the transformation, if you read in Bhagavatam, third canto, and many other places also, you will see how this transformation is being happened. So it's like when you talk about this earth, water, fire, ether, so these are the very, very basics in terms of quantum field theory, we can say these are very basic quantum fields that were present from the beginning of this universe, and then they get transformed in due course of time, and all these varieties are produced. So when Lord annihilates everything, so when Lord expands, it expands huge, and when Lord annihilates, it again crumbles into very small, tiny field particles. That is what we can understand. So whenever we say a field, so there has to be something whose field is there. So now scientifically we do not have much understanding about whose field. For example, if there's a magnet, we have magnetic field. So in absence of a magnet, we do not have magnetic field. And when we have electricity, we have the electrical field. And of course, we can generate the magnetic field by electromagnetic. When the current runs, then magnetic field is generated. So electron moves. So it's like there has to be something to generate a field, and from the field, these particles are generated. So from Bhagavatam, we can know, because Lord Krishna says that these are my energies. So these energies, the field from which everything manifested, is the field or the energy that is present because of Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna energy is getting transformed in different forms. So one who understands this, his way of looking at everything will change. For example, suppose you are eating one banana, okay, and then you eat rice, then you eat chapati, and then you eat some carbohydrate. So a person who is a nutritionist, what he will say, that whole day you are just eating carbohydrates. There is no protein content in the food. But for you, you may be eating a variety of taste, you may be eating variety of items, but everything is carbohydrate. There is no protein content into it, right? Similarly, if you're just eating protein content, the nutritionist will know. Maybe taste changes, but he knows what the content is. Similarly, the body structure may change, but a spiritualist, he knows that uh, the person with whom we're interacting is the soul and not the body. And in the absence of soul, the body will not function the way it is functioning now. So here is the point that we need to understand, and we need to ponder upon it. The discussion between Rahugana and Jar Bharat is very important for us, because time and again this need to be told. Time and again we need to get reminded that we are not this body, but a soul, and we are part and parcel of Lord Krishna, and we have our relationship with Lord Krishna. So what is the difference between a person who knows that we have relationship with Lord Krishna, who knows that we are not this body but a soul, and a person who has realized this knowledge, and the person who does not have this knowledge? I mean, they have not heard about this knowledge, and they just operate themselves in this world thinking that we are this body. So to understand this, just think about a situation like so we have many kids in our society. In my society also, there are many kids. But whenever I see my son, my daughter, then what I think, that they are mine. So whenever I look at them, I I feel that they are mine, even if they're not obeying me, even if they're not obeying my orders. If I say now study, but they're not studying. But other students or other children, if I say you study very well, they're studying. If I ask them, you bring something, they are bringing. But then also the feeling that they are my son, my daughter, that does not arouse in my heart. I may be good to them, but the feeling doesn't arouse. Similarly, the person who has realized the relationship with Lord Krishna, that he has a relationship. The moment he sees anything related to the Lord, I mean the temple, the deity of the Lord, the paraphernalia used in the worship of the Lord, the chamar, the more punk, and the achmani, or the food item being prepared, everything. Whenever he sees, he feels like I'm connected with the Lord, and I'm also connected with those paraphernalia. They think they belong to him, and he belongs to them. So there is a subtle feeling that changes. And he said, Lord belongs to me and I belong to Lord. Lord is mine. I'm his servant. I must serve him. Otherwise, and the next stage, a person who knows, his condition is like a mother who just gave birth to a child. So we studied that the first time when the child is brought to a mother and the doctor says, he's your child. And I also experienced the same. I mean, when my child was born, and then doctor told me that you can go and see him. So when I entered the room, so it was like there were many newborn children were there, all lying on different beds, and there were nurses who were doing something with them. And then I was just looking here and there and thinking, who is my child? Which one is my child? And then he said, this is your child. And then I was just looking at the child, and then they were very small, and then they were cleaning the child, and then similarly the other child also. Nurses were doing the same to other child also. My child also was he was not crying, but other children were crying. I was looking at all the children's both the sides, and my child also. But the feeling that the attachment, so I just had the knowledge that this is my child, but the feeling and then the attachment, it was not there in me. Maybe it may be a different case or different people, but what I'm saying that that's not, the attachment was not there. And then they said, no, okay, sir, now you leave the room, we'll call you again. And then they put on some dress, and they said, we are taking your child to the mother. And when they go to the mother, then she also looking at, but I see that that feeling that was not there. And then my daughter, she came, say, he's your brother. So just the knowledge was there, but the attachment was not there. So there's no attachment. And it is my, then other people, they start coming and they say, congratulations, you have a son now, and then it is your son. And slowly, when then he started crying, he asked for, I mean, he must be, he's hungry. Then the mother started breastfeeding him, and then I bought some clothes, and then I bought some items to play. And then I started telling others. So I have a son now. I started calling my father and my relatives that we got a son and he's my son. So the moment I start talking to people that uh, I have uh, I have a son, he's my son, and then I started serving him, bringing something for him. Then we paid the bill and think that, yeah, this bill for the son. So the why I'm sharing this to you, like just saying that here is Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna is your master. Lord Krishna is everything for you. He is the most lovable person. Just the knowledge is not going to help us. What is going to help us is that the moment we start serving Lord Krishna by different ways, the moment we start serving him by offering him something, the food we eat, and we always start telling that, yes, I am servant Lord Krishna, he is a master. Slowly that then one day we'll start feeling that, yeah, he is my master, I'm his servant. Where he is, I cannot see him, I just see the vigra, I want to see him in person. So that will start. But until unless we serve Lord Krishna, we work for him, we study about him, we tell about him to others, that attachment will not begin. We will just have this, we'll just have this understanding, this is Lord Krishna, that's all, nothing much. But attachment will not be there. But for the body, what happens, that every day I carry I-card written, this person, son of this person. Everywhere I go and write, what is your name? This is my name. What is your father's name? This is my father's name. And every day I wash my body, I clean myself, I put tilaka, I wear different dress, I go to market and then think about I should have AC, I should have this. So because I just think about my body, this should be there, this should be there. And therefore this bodily consciousness increases more and more. And I am this body, I am this body. And then this is my wife, this is my daughter, this is my son, this is my country, this is my that is what I started because we are serving them. But if it was a permanent, I mean, if it remained forever, nothing is going to change. It was an Vaikuntha lok and everything was eternal. I remain as I look, you remain as you look. My laptop, my hands, my speaking power, my clothes, they remain everything as it is. No, nothing changes, and we just enjoy. Then it was good. But the challenge here is like, I do not want to become old. I want to maintain myself as I look now, but I see that my bodily strength are decreasing. The strength that I had in my body 20 years back is not there. Today, if I do a lot of exercise, I see that my joints are aching. That I have the pains, and then doctor would say, slow down, don't do too much. I mean, for your age, it is too much. Yesterday I went to eye testing, and he said, now you need to get a some, you need to change your specs. And he said, nothing wrong with you, nothing wrong with your eyes. It is just because of age that the power is changing. So that triggers the mind. Then if everything is changing, what will happen? And then one day I will die. Then people will say, don't think about the death. Think about that you are going to live. But Lord Krishna says, he says that Janna Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukha Dosanu Darsanam. So that is the only place where Lord says that we need to see the fault. Otherwise, he said, don't look fault in others. Don't look fault in different items. He says, look the fault. What is the fault in this world? Janam, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. These are the only four faults in this world. Other things are okay. Other things are not the fault. They are all within this. So one who does not see that there is a fault, that why Janm, Mrityu, Jara, and Vyadi, these are the faults. I mean, this should not be there, but they are there, and we have to encounter them. And then when I die, I do not know what happens when I die. When I die, my grandfather died. I mean, these things are there. We know it, but until unless we discuss about it, we do not understand it in a much better way. So therefore, we need to read Bhagavatam every day. One may think that same topics are being repeated in the first chapter, in the second canto, in the Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Why this repetition is there? This repetition will help us in two processes. Just like we hear this sloka by Sarva Bhattacharya, he said for the Lord, Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yogam. So the whole purpose is like to create Vairagya and the Bhakti. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yogam. So the process is that we must know that whatever we see from this material world, we need to detach and we need to attach with Lord. Now, one may say that here is the Lord, and Lord has two different energy. One is the material energy and the spiritual energy. Just like if I say that here's my father and I'm his son, my brother is also his son, then I have relationship with him. And then I say that I only maintain my relationship with my brother, but not with father. Then everything is not proper. For example, husband and wife. Okay, so the wife has relations with the husband, and because wife has relations with the husband, and therefore wife also has relationship with all other family members or all the items in the house, because they are having relationship with the husband. But for example, nowadays the divorce is very common. So once you divorced, then you don't have relationship with your husband, and then you lost relationship with everything else. Okay, similarly, husband also has relationship with the wife and the wife's family and everything. But once the relationship is not there, then all relationships are null and void. Similarly, everything is related with Krishna, and And all relationships are perfect until and unless we have the relationship with the Lord Krishna. So currently we do not have relationship with the Lord, but we want to make relationship with all other things, but not with the Lord. And therefore it becomes null and void. So material energy, my body is the part, is the external energy Lord. Myself, soul, we are the part of the internal energy Lord. But I do not have any direct relationship with this external energy Lord. I have relationship with external energy Lord only via Lord Krishna. So if I try to be attached to Lord Krishna, and then and then I use this also for Lord Krishna, then only I have this relation to the Lord. So Prabhupada says that when the material energy is used for the purpose of Lord, just like he gives examples of the iron rod who's in contact with the heat becomes like a hot, like a fire only. It becomes like a fire, it can burn also. Similarly, I do not have direct relations with the material energy. I have relations with the Lord, and and therefore I must use whatever is given to me in my position for the service of the Lord. So what we can do in practice or in a practical way is that at least for some time in a day, we should try to focus on only one thing, that I am serving the Lord and my duty is to serve Him. And that the best time for that is the moment when we chant. So during the chanting, we should try to forget everything else and just remember that I am serving on the Lord Krishna, and my only purpose of existence is to serve Lord Krishna. So those who are chanting 16 rounds, it may take 1.5, 2 hours. If you're chanting 2 rounds, 10 minutes. So at least for 10 minutes or 2 hours daily, if we just meditate, because after that time period, entire time period, we are going to say, this is my office, this is my name, he is my wife, he is my husband, this is my son, this is my country, and this is my bed, this is my laptop, this is my body, I need to do this. Okay. So we get more attached to those, but at least if we practice it for at least for 2 hours daily, and we just try to forget that, uh, not forget that we have this body, but we should be enforcing positively. Just thinking about that, I am not this body, I am not this body, I am not this body, it may lead to a psychological depression. If I am not this body, who am I? Where I am? What I am doing? So I mean, it may be disturbing to you. But instead of focusing on I am not this body, what I am servant of Lord Krishna. I am servant of Lord Krishna, and my purpose is to serve him. And that is what chanting. Oh Hare, oh Balram, oh Krishna, oh Radha, please engage me in your service. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It's like it has many meanings, but the meaning that Prabhupada told us this, like we are saying, oh Radhe, oh Krishna, oh Ram, oh Balram, please engage me in your service. Because I'm yours, and you are mine, we are related. So at least for 1 hour, 2 hour daily, if you say like that for a fixed time period, that will expand, and that consciousness will expand for entire of our lives. Now, until unless that consciousness is perfect, we are not going to get connected with Lord Krishna perfectly. Because just for the argument's sake, here what we see that Maharaj Bharat, he was the direct son of Lord Rishabdev. He was a direct son of Lord, and he got direct instruction from the Lord. Then also he need to pass through 3 lifetimes. Bharat, King Bharat, then the deer, and then the Jad Bharat. So there's a lesson to it. I mean, we are we are nowhere compared to the King Bharat and his understanding and his level of devotion. And if he can fall down, so where we are, and therefore we should be very, very careful, very, very careful. For example, the moment I think that I need to take care of this, so I need to take care of this is different than thinking that this is my responsibility till date to do this. So I need to take care, and other process this is my responsibility. There's a difference between this. When I say that I need to do this, that means everything is belongs to me, and I'm the proprietor, and I have to do this. I control this. So the moment I think that I need to take care of my family, my children, my country, everything, then all the responsibility is like depends on me. But when I say it is my responsibility to do it, so that is the kartabya. This is my responsibility. I must do it. I am only responsible for what my responsibilities are, and I must do it irrespective of what are the external conditions are. So that is a perfect way to deal with this material world. Because the moment I think that I am the proprietor and I can take care of it, then I undermine or I underestimate or I do not have much understanding that actually Lord Krishna is taking care of everything. Our body is made up with this earth, these elements. It simply means that it is going to behave similarly. For example, if my body was made up of, say, this candlesticks, so Mombatti candle. So I should not go near to fire because then my body is going to melt, right? If my body is having iron, then I should not go near to high magnetic field because then all the iron in a body will be extracted by this magnetic field. This may happen. I mean, very strong magnetic field, it may impact our body. So similarly, whatever reaction is there, that body is going to have, and therefore, what it says that what we should practice Matra sprasasthu konteya sitosana sukkada agam apaino anityastan titikshasa bharata. So a person who is able to tolerate these things, matra sprasasthu konteya sitosana sukkada kuda, only that is the person who can do satatam kirtantamam. Satatam kirtantamam, because suppose I'm thinking about Lord Krishna, and I'm trying to chant, but suddenly there is some distress in the body, then my focus will be on distress, and I will forget to chant or remember Lord Krishna. So satatam, there is a break. No, it is not satatam. Satatam is continuous. It's like, and if you read in Narad Bhakti, so it is said, Taila Dharavat. Taila Dharavat means when you pour oil, then this is a continuously is flowing. It is continuous. Looks, you can see it is continuous. Continuously it is flowing. So Taira Dharavat. So remembrance, when you say Satatam Kirtantamam, the remembrance has to be continuous. But the moment we become distressed, suppose I'm chanting and somebody says, Prabhu, you are doing so nice chanting. You chant so nicely. Your senses are very clear. Then suddenly my mind will go to his appreciation, not the chanting. And suppose somebody says, Prabhu, you are not chanting properly. You do not say Krishna. You say something else. You do not say Ram. You do not speak Hare. Then again, because I'm being told something instruction, and then I do not. If I think it is an insult, then again my mind goes. So we need to train our mind in such a way that we always remember Lord Krishna. For example, today my father is not with me, but there is a link. There is a link with my father. I always keep thinking of him, and so that is a very subtle thing that is there. So we need to get to that state of attachment to the Lord Krishna, so that we can constantly keep remembering him, and therefore this all this instruction that we are not this body, this body is made up of earth element only. Why you are being so proud? We are being proud because we are on the earth element. So for the potter who makes this earthen pots, for him it is like a costly affair. Some small pots, bigger pots, designer pots, he may charge differently. But for a person who's a diamond businessman, for him everything is made of earth. Everything made of earth. So for him it has no value, because diamonds he can fill one diamond, he can purchase the entire earthen pots along with all the lands and all the paraphernalia. He can purchase it. For him it doesn't matter if it is 10 rupees or 100 rupees or 1,000 rupees, because one diamond it may cost lakhs of rupees. Similarly, so it is being said that whatever is this material world, it is not that important, but the important is the soul. Soul is important. And the purpose of this human body is that we can revive our consciousness. So that facility is only available in the human life. Otherwise, uh, if you're not able to revive our consciousness, because our consciousness is trapped by two layers. One layer is man, buddhi, ahankara, and the other gross layer is the earth, water, fire, and ethan's body. So when there's a transmigration of the body from one body to another body, then we learn from Bhagavata, just like air carries the aroma. Similarly, the subtle bodies, man, buddhi, ahankara, they carries the soul. But man, buddhi, ahankara, they carries the soul. But in this only in this human body, they are very well developed that soul can use it. Soul can use it. Soul is not soul. I mean, when the soul is in the from the dog's body or the elephant body or the mosquito bodies, there he cannot use those things because they are not fully developed. He can use only those elements to understand himself so it's like saying that in Bhagavatam says that uh, from the wood, fire is produced, and the fire destroys the wood itself. Similarly, by using this material mind, intelligence, we serve the Lord, and that itself will destroy this mind intelligence. The subtle body engaged in the Lord will get destroyed for us, and then we become freed from this entanglement. Otherwise, we never become free from this entanglement, and therefore, this human body is very precious. And today we do not realize, but the moment we lose this or we are about to lose this body, if that time something comes to our mind, it is very difficult to remember Lord Krishna if you're not practice it. It may happen just like in the case of Ajamila, that he remembered his son's name Narayana. But for our case, we may not be able to remember Narayana. Even if my son daughter name is Narayana or Ram or Krishna or Balaram or Achyut, something like that, I do not know if I'm able to call their name out. I do not know if I'm able to think about them. I do not know what is my mental condition, because sometimes that happens very sharp. You do not get time to think about it. Sometimes there are so many forces are there, and you think about that forces. We are thinking about how to counteract the positions. We are thinking about which medicine to take, which therapy to take, and we're not thinking about Lord Krishna because we are not dependent on Lord Krishna. So the one way is to always remember Lord Krishna is to just learn to depend on Him. Not for everything we should just depend on Him. I mean, even if the company is paying you salary, we should always think, Lord Krishna is paying my salary, and He is just the agent. So once I asked the devotee that, Prabhuji, what happens that I'm working for a company and company is paying me, how should I think that Lord Krishna is paying me? Then he gave example and he said that in our Shastra it says that Lord employs one living entity to take care of another living entity by implanting a feeling of attachment. And similarly, Lord employs one living entity to kill another living entity by employing a different kind of feeling. Similarly, only Lord Krishna is taking care of you. Today you are working in this company. Tomorrow Lord Krishna may arrange to work in different company. Or you may depend on the different kinds of business or something else. But you should always know that whatever may be the case, Lord Krishna is taking care of me. Even if you are eating a medicine, just think about that this is Lord Krishna energy that is going inside me and taking care of me. Even if we are going to visit doctor, we should not think that this doctor can cure me. We should think that Lord Krishna, if he wants, then he can give intelligence to a very small doctor who is not very specialist, and he can cure me. Otherwise, if Lord Krishna is not giving his intelligence, then I may not be cured. So in all the circumstances, we should learn to depend on Lord Krishna. If somebody invites you, we just say, if Lord Krishna wishes, then I may come. So something like that. So for slowly, we should increase our dependence on Lord Krishna, and we should increase our thinking of Lord Krishna, we should try to serve him, and by that way we'll get more engaged with Lord Krishna. Our attachment will increase, and then only the reading of Bhagavatam and reading Bhagavad Gita will fructify. So that's all for today. Thank you very much. If you have any question, you can take. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for so many examples you have enlightened us by connecting properly to the Shastras, like the way you started with. So one should offer the obeisances to the exalted devotees, ask proper questions with the proper attitude. Then you started like King Ravana requested Jarabharata to elaborate on what he spoke. Then we should read the purports, like there you mentioned, we need to read the purports of Srila Prabhupada because it carries a lot of energies and message to all of us. So the more we read the purports, the more we get the message of that. And a lot of items can be prepared from earth. Price varies based on the variety and design, utility and design. So similarly, those who are spiritualists, so they don't give much value to the body related to things, but like it is, things like appearance, but it is what is there inside that body, the soul. So the value of gold does not change based on the appearances. Similarly, self-realized people don't distinguish based on the body. Then we talked the way you connected the Big Bang theory, quantum field theory to the who is there behind those fields and all those things. So then you mentioned like, the creation of the earth, how the Panchabhutas formation from the quantum field theory, the way you connected. And there has to be someone or something to create that field. So that was, as Shastra says, it is Supreme Lord, the Krishna. And Srimad Bhagavatam and even Krishna also says that they are the source of the creation of this entire energy. And then the way nutritionist knows the carbohydrates or proteins, even if the taste or form changes. So similarly, spiritualist knows that who is behind the body. So it does not matter what type of body. So it is the soul. So the first there you talked about with the example of uh, like getting attached. So first is the knowledge, then the surveying, then talking about him. So makes us attachment. So when you talked about this attachment to the like children. So similarly, so just knowing that Krishna is our master, so it does not help much because there will not have much attachment. So the serving and then talking about him, hearing about him, so makes us get attached to Krishna. Then as Sarvama Bhattacharya said, Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yogam. So the detachment and the knowledge. So then we have a relation with Krishna. So then brother also has the relationship with Krishna. If we remove the Krishna and thinking, okay, he's just my brother, so that is not the perfect relationship and it is not going to last forever. So when we keep the Krishna at the center and then relate everything else with Krishna, so that relationship is going to be the permanent and perfect. And then you said like, so that is the reason like we have during the chanting we have to remember that Krishna is my master and it is my duty to serve him and forget everything else. And then practice daily 2 hours to serve Krishna, and chanting means to beg for the service of Radharani, Balram, and Krishna, Lord Krishna. So then you said, talked about like King Bharat was the son of Lord Rishabhadev. Still, like he had to take 3 lifetimes to perfect his life. So what to speak of us? So we have to be very, very careful, and we need to have the consciousness of responsibility to deal with material world instead of thinking, okay, I am the proprietor, I am the controller, this and that. So when we have the responsibility, we'll be doing the duties perfectly and then with detachment. Then you talked about the Sadatam Kirtayanto Mam. Then we have to train our mind such a way that we need to always remember Krishna. So then you talked about even the body is important. The most important thing is the soul, and this human life is to revive our original consciousness. Then you talked about Manbuddhi Ahankara carries the similar the way Manbuddhi Ahankara carries the soul. Uh, it is similar to the air carrying the aroma. So there you mentioned a nice example. Wood catches the fire and destroys itself. So similarly, by using this material subtle body, we need to destroy it to perfect our life. And then you talked about learn to depend on Krishna always. And then there you talked about like with the example of company is giving the salary, then how can you relate with that with Krishna? So they're like saying Lord employs one living entity to take care of another living entity. So whatever is the case, Lord Krishna is taking care of us completely. So he's the ultimate cause of all these things. So at the end we said, think about Krishna, serve Krishna, read and hear Srimad Bhagavatam, and then we can perfect our life. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, devotees lines are just unmuted and you can unmute and ask any questions or clarifications. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, devotees lines are already unmuted.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhanavad Pranam. Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhuji. I like the point where if the child is born also, if we don't know who is our child, we can't maintain our relationship. Only through the relationship, all the service attitude will, we can cultivate. So same with the Lord also. If we know who is our Lord and we have Lord at least, then we can have the servitor's mentality. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. So it's even though it's a very vast and very higher thinking, I am very, very low, but I'm trying to learn from these classes. Thank you so much for the wonderful messages with so many analogies from the Big Bang to the till that the baby is born. So thank you so much. Prabhuji. Correct.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranams. Thanks for the wonderful class, Prabhu. Today I really understood why we should do service, Prabhu. It was really wonderful. So many nice points, but this is the point I will take on, Prabhu, to do more and more service, to become attached. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thanks for the wonderful class, Prabhu. So that the building of the relationship with the Lord is so important that we could understand today from today's class very much, Prabhu. Relation, Sambandha Gnana you could give us so well. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Thanks for the wonderful class, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I think everybody is crystal clear now with the class. So we can end the class here with Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha Kalpatarupa. Vaishnavibhyo Namo. Anantagala Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grandhara Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, once again for the wonderful and instructive class. And thanks all devotees for being attentive. Again, we'll meet tomorrow at 7:15 a.m. Hare Krishna. Dhanavad.